Today I'll be presenting randomized control trials, also known as RCTs, and how they work as a study design. This flowchart displays a basic outline of how RCTs are performed and how participants are randomly assigned to control and intervention groups. Step 1. The PICO research question is used to set the population intervention comparison and outcome of the experiment. Step 2. Participants are randomly assigned to two different groups. Half are placed into a group who receive a placebo or non-intervention, and the other half are placed into a group with an intervention. This may be either a drug, a policy, or a diet. Now, RCTs are used as the gold standard test when it comes to research due to its ability to uphold a high level of validity and a low level of bias. Since the participants do not know what group they're placed into, it reduces the likelihood of the results being skewed due to bias. And this is even more apparent in blind RCTs where the researchers are unaware of the differences between the two groups. I will now explain a real-life example. So the research question used was to evaluate the efficacy of a ketogenic diet in relation to the cognitive and behavioral functionality of children and adolescents suffering from epilepsy. The participants were then split in half, with one group being placed on a ketogenic diet and the other half being placed in a controlled group, where they were cared for regularly. And this was all completed at random, and then a series of tests were taken from the participants to compare the results and determine the efficacy of the ketogenic diet on the functionality of children and adolescents aged 1 to 18. The results were as follows. A POMS survey was applied, where participants rated their mood. An ST-cubed questionnaire was applied, where participants answered a series of strengths and differences of the diet they followed. An HARCES was rated, where participants were rated themselves on a scale based on whether there was a reduction in epilepsy symptoms. And an SEV questionnaire was filled out to rate the children's social and emotional state. The results displayed an improved mood state, with participants reporting less tension, anxiety, hostility, and confusion, and an increased productivity and activation. At the conclusion of the RCT, the ketogenic diet was proven to have a positive effect on children and adolescents suffering from epilepsy. Now, in a nutshell, RCTs are a valuable study as it is one of the most valid and reliable studies used in determining the efficacy of interventions on participants placed at random. They can either be controlled or blind, but they will always be placed at random. Additionally, they are vigorous to complete and use a high level of analysis due to the high extent of detailed testing and procedures that need to be done to ensure the gold standard. And the whole point of the study design is to reduce any sort of bias that might be involved with participants knowing the intervention that could risk the entire study. But in saying this, there are plenty of other research models that could be used. It just depends on the style of the research question and the intervention chosen.
Created using Powtoon.